Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tesla stock today is up another 3% in what looks like the start of a move to new all-time highs. We'll talk about that in today's episode. But first, we have to get into your breaking news of the day today. Why is Tesla up 3%? There's a lot we need to discuss. We're also going to look at broader market news, some of your headlines today, and more. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, and check out that link down below in the description of this video if you want to come join the trading community with us. Come get involved in that community. Come find high quality AI stocks before Wall Street does and get in at the ground floor, potentially. At least that's what I've had a history of doing. That's the strategy that I strive for. So check it out if you'd like to, and let's get into today's episode. Let's get started with your Tesla stock breaking news today, and not any real order of importance. First things first, we have this. Tesla has just made a huge update to its US website. Tesla now says that you only need to order by September 30th to take advantage of the federal EV credit. This means the vehicle doesn't have to be delivered by September 30th. As long as you place the order by that date, you can take delivery weeks or even months later and still take advantage of the credit. Which on Tesla's website, it has said up until now that you must take delivery by September 30th. I think it's a little late to change this terminology, but it again could help to drive more demand in the real final days, like where we are now. It's September 22nd. There's no way you're gonna place an order and have your vehicle by September 30th. Not in this demand environment, but now people know that you just have to order one. So that could help boost some demand. Also helping Tesla stock today, you must imagine, is Trump and Elon Musk were seen sitting together at Charlie Kirk's memorial. They were shaking hands, they were talking, they were laughing, and getting this feud really settled and over with in person is a positive thing for Tesla stock. And here you can actually see, let me restart this clip, Elon Musk, Trump shaking hands, laughing, smiling. You got Dana White there as well. Melania in the back is what it looks like. Donald Jr. Okay, so yeah, I don't know what exactly this means for Tesla stock, but it can't be bad, and that's why, or one reason why Tesla stock is moving higher. The surfing cyber surgeon on X says, this week I will drop another $50,000 into Tesla. The majority of our population does not know what's about to happen. As Elon said, this will be the biggest transfer of wealth in human history. Tesla will run autonomy. Elon Musk says, not transfer of wealth, creation of wealth. The pie will get much larger, the opposite of a zero-sum game. And as I've said before, okay, especially over this weekend and the last couple of days, the note from Bard analyst Ben Callow last week that shot Tesla stock higher, where they say if Elon hits the milestones in the compensation package, the stock could be over $3 trillion. Ben Callow said that Tesla is a leader in physical AI. I put it like this. That note was such a jaw dropper to the institutional community that, you know, all of your Tesla analysts last week got a call from their bosses and said, hey, did you see the Bard analyst on Tesla today raise his price target 71% and make all these claims? Look into that. See what that's about. See if we need to revise our targets as well. So I'm not surprised, to say the least, that another analyst has raised their price target about 20%. Piper Sandler analyst Alex Potter has increased his Tesla price target to $500 from $400 following a trip to China. Quote, after meeting with Chinese EV makers, we can see why Elon Musk respects these fast followers so much. Indeed, vertically integrated Chinese OEMs may be Tesla's #1 competitive threat. But when it comes to the real world AI, these companies look to Tesla for guidance, not the other way around. In the words of one company, quote, "Without Tesla going from 0 to 1, we can't go from 1 to 100. Bottom line, Tesla remains our top idea for investing in autonomous vehicles and robotics." Alex added, quote, "We think the catalyst path matters more to the valuation than 2026 estimates. It now seems FSD V14 will be released any day. We think this will prompt a higher multiple." He says he thinks it's going to be so good that Tesla's multiple is going to go up even more. That, simpler terms, the stock is going to go up on that catalyst. And we really have a calendar that's going to be chock full of catalysts into the end of this year and into 2026. Now, Elon Musk commented on this post and says that China has many excellent companies in many industries. And as Sawyer Merritt points out here, Tesla is only a 9.8% increase away from a new all-time high. Porsche has announced a significant shift in its electric vehicle strategy, delaying the launch of several new battery-powered models and extending the production life of combustion and hybrid vehicles well into the next decade. Tesla's first 500 kilowatt supercharger station in the world is under construction in Campbell, California, with faster charging, supports 400 to 1,000 volt vehicle architectures, including 30% faster charging for Cybertruck, and sexy vehicles get 250 kilowatts of charging rates they already experience at the V3 cabinet, charging up to 200 miles in 15 minutes. And was reported yesterday that Warren Buffett sold his entire stake in BYD. This is a position that Charlie Munger was holding on to. There is a new article that was written about Tesla's FSD supervised in Australia. It says, quote, "It's an incredible piece of tech, almost unreal. All up, I put almost 700 kilometers over 5 days with multiple 70 plus kilometer trips with zero interventions. I took the car on similar routes to what I would normally do. It handled almost all scenarios without an issue. This included roundabouts, dawn and dusk driving, night driving, rain, roadworks, hook turns, lane merges, median strips, tunnels, freeway on-ramps, narrower roads, single carriage bridges, shopping centers, and a whole lot more. It did it all." Joe Tetmeyer today posted these images and says, "First equipment deliveries inside the Cortex 2 facility today. Schneider Electric D-Square cabinets from the labels. Seems like interior work is picking up with the utility trenching, point installation, concrete pours, and now electronic cabinetry and equipment." Activity today from hedge funds and institutions. You have 193 different trades totaling $116.44 million with a positive order value of 84%. So continuing to see this very bullish option positioning. Now, options are clearly always forward positioning. Okay, so when you're seeing this kind of bullish forward positioning, it tends to mean good things ahead, right? On Friday, you had $402 million worth of option activity with a positive order value of 86%. In the past week, you've had $3.11 billion worth of option activity with a positive order value of 86% over the past week. So they've been bullish on Tesla for a while. Really, ever since Tesla's last earnings, that's when everything started to flip and get a lot more bullish. Now, short interest of free float at 2.86%, $34.24 billion sold short in Tesla stock today, totaling 80.36 million shares. Now, today you have 2.74 million shares that are being covered on. So if we just look at how much short sellers are down today, you're going to times stocks up about $10 by 80.36 million. And short sellers are down about $803.6 million today alone, let alone the rally that we've seen, over the last 2 weeks or so. They're hurting at this point. And I'm not shocked to see some of them starting to cover on short positions today. Now, in the news today, recently confirmed Fed nominee Stephen Moran says Trump has never asked me to pursue a specific policy. Fed Moran says after steep cuts, a little more cutting will take place in 2026 and 2027. So Moran really wants to get rates lower as soon as possible. And today, NVIDIA is said to be making equity investments in OpenAI in stages. Fed Hammock says, I'm not hearing about significant layoffs. Fed Hammock says the risk is persistent inflation could impact expectation. Fed Moran says a series of 50 basis point cuts will recalibrate policy. Fed Hammock says at the moment we're seeing inflation pressure come back in goods and also in services. Jerome Powell just said last week that we don't have much of an inflation problem in services. So Hammock, I don't know what he's talking about. I think it's a girl. I think it's a dude. It might be a girl. I have no idea what they are talking about today. Fed Moran says it's better to move to neutral quickly, but is not panicked about the state of policy. NVIDIA will invest up to $100 billion into OpenAI. Fed Moran says policy is considerably restrictive and a threat to economic momentum. Hammock says if the Fed cuts too quickly, we could start overheating again, which, again, I don't know what delusional world Fed Hammock lives in, but to overheat, you need the consumer to be flushed with money and doing great. And by any metric, they're not. Fed Hammock says, I expect another wave of price pressures early next year. Again, I don't know what's wrong with Fed Hammock, how they have this view. But hey, everyone's open to their, entitled to their opinion. Canada's Prime Minister Carney says the U.S. is shifting to transactional and bilateral trade strategy. Fed Hammock says, I have one of the higher estimates of neutral. We are only modestly restrictive. Hammock says, on the labor side, we're pretty close to our target. Hammock says it's still a low hiring, low firing job market. Businesses reluctant to hire. Barkin says today, low unemployment and wage gains and stock prices are all upholding consumer spending, which again, this economy is not equal right now. Consumer spending is in the top 10% of income earners, 50% of all consumer spending. Like, it's the top earners of this country that are holding the economy up. Fed Barkin says the fog around the economy is beginning to lift, but businesses are still cautious about new investment. He says a tiny amount of tariffs are going to consumers now. Fed Moran says leaving short-term interest rates roughly 2 percentage points too tight risks unnecessary layoffs and greater unemployment. So Fed Moran says they want to lower rates about 2% as soon as possible, or he does. Fed Moran says, I believe that tariffs will lead to substantial swings in net national savings. And Moran says the appropriate federal funds rate is roughly 2 to 2.5%. He says that multiple Trump policies are lowering the neutral rate, and he says that current interest rates are very restrictive. Moran says net zero immigration would suggest 1 percentage point lower rent inflation per year. He says immigration policy driven reduction in population growth rate also exerts downward pressure on the neutral rate. Trump says that Venezuelan militia training is a very serious threat. Bessent says that 10 Fed chair candidates interviewed by next week. U.S. ambassador to the UN says U.S. and allies will defend every inch of NATO territory. Fed Musaliam says so far retaliation against U.S. tariffs has been almost non-existent compared to what was feared. He says that he expects the impacts of tariffs on inflation to fade after 2 or 3 quarters. And Musaliam says that bankers say that conditions are good right now. A U.S. official says no TikTok valuation has been set yet. Per the Financial Times today, quote, a third of U.S. states may already be in a recession. Fed Musaliam says, I'm open to further rate cuts. Musaliam says he wouldn't support more cuts if inflation risks increase. Fed Bostic says, I see little reason to cut rates further for now. And Fed Bostic has penciled in only 1 rate cut for 2025 per the Wall Street Journal. So you can see a bit of this mixed commentary from Fed officials today. Is having a little bit of a weird impact on markets. Russell 2000 is up 0.20%, NASDAQ up 0.64%, S&P is up 0.40%, the Dow is up 0.12%, but the VIX is up 2.5% today. Bond yields pretty much flat. Oil is down around 0.5%. Gold is up 2%. And cryptos are down quite a bit. Ethereum down 7%. Solana down 8%. Doge down 9%. Bitcoin down 2.5%. So there's a little bit of like a risk off area or theme in some areas of this market. Other areas are doing okay. It's kind of a really weird day. Keep in mind, it is still in the September seasonal weakness for this week. We still don't have a agreement to keep the government open and funded. So that is a risk that will begin to weigh on markets more towards the end of this week. Okay, technically we have this week and then Monday and Tuesday of next week to figure out how to keep the government open. And if there's no progress that starts soon, you know, a government shutdown is going to be here. And normally government shutdowns are not negative, right, for stocks. But when you have reports of the economy on weak footing and the labor market on weak footing and a third of U.S. states already in recession, and then you're talking about a government shutdown, perhaps that could be a negative catalyst, especially in September seasonal weakness. Something we're going to be paying attention to, but is not quite having a big negative impact. Now, tomorrow we have a speech from Fed Jerome Powell and a couple other catalyst like economic data points coming out. That will be one of the bigger catalysts for this week, and we'll talk about that more in the next video. In the meantime, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, and check out that link down below in the description of this video if you would like to come join the trading community. With that said, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.